but we had them in this little gated area and all their food and water and their little heat lamp. And I remember sitting there watching them, and there was a fly that dove down into where they were at. And I kid you not, this tiny little baby chicken went full on velociraptor and snatched that fly out of the air so fast.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my gosh, chickens are dinosaurs.
They are dinosaurs.
They're 100% dinosaurs. Like, it was the most badass primal thing I think I had ever seen.
And it was a baby.
And it was a tiny little baby chicken. Like, he was just like right out of the air. I'm like, this is what. And Andrew comes home from work, and I was like, babe,
You're never going to
you're
guess.
not going to believe what I saw today.
Hey there. Welcome to Parties to Playdates. I'm Kendall.
And I'm Jess. We're here to fill your day with warmth and laughter.
Join us as we navigate the chaos and joy of everyday life.
We're all about sharing real-life moments with a dash of humor and practical tips.
So grab your coffee and settle in for a cozy chat.
Because here, every moment is a story worth sharing.
No topic is off limit.
And every listener is a friend.
Let's get this party started. Hey, girl.
Hey, Kendall. This part is always so fun with the hellos.
I know.
Because we've already been chatting for 30 minutes.
Oh, 100%. So it's I got to fake it till I make it.
I love it. So what did they say or do this week?
You know I have another poop story.
Oh, already?
Yeah, girl. So Mav, he wants to keep putting his hands in his pants to the front, which is fine.
Yeah.
He's a boy. Everyone keeps telling me, he's a boy. Let him do it. Let him live his life. I'm like, okay, well, one day he's going to come up with poop. Did we not think about that? Or at a play date and he's touching his wiener and then touching someone's snacks.
Yeah.
It's like, that's disturbing. And luckily he's clean, but it's now the backside. So he puts his hands down the back of his pants. And I got a photo. It's always a good photo.
Oh, no. Again?
Yeah, of Ryan saying that he went to Publix, he went and got groceries, came home. He's like, I literally put the groceries away and turned around, and there's poop smeared on our new couch.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And I literally looked at it, put my phone down, and walked away at work. And I was like, I don't want to be there right now. And I'm so glad I'm not.
Was it like streaks?
It wasn't like what you're probably thinking, not like absolutely like, oh, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
But it's a good smear.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
By the time he's out of diapers, you guys are going to have an entire poop chronicles.
Dude. And I
just
know
a whole slideshow of all the
not terrible,
disgusting things.
but our couch is cloth.
Yeah, couches are hard to clean.
I will say this. I never thought I'd say this. I miss our leather couch
Yeah.
for this one sole purpose of cleaning up because I love our new couch so much.
Yeah.
But it's disgusting.
Oh, no.
It's not that bad, but
not
it's
that
still bad.
But you don't want that on where you're hanging out. Oh.
I know.
Oh.
Disturbing.
Gross.
Right? Yeah. So and the next day I had him in a onesie. And I was like, Ryan, do I need to go buy more onesies? Like,
Yeah.
do they make 2T onesies? Why are we buying 2T onesies, people?
To lock them down.
Yeah. You're not allowed in there.
That's gross.
It's disgusting.
Ugh.
And the next day he was with me and we were fine that night. And then the next day, it's always with Ryan, everybody. I'm putting this out there. It's always with Ryan.
He's always like, check this out, Dad.
Yeah. And then the next day, Ryan got pissed off at him again because he put his hands down the back of his diaper and had handfuls and just stood there. And I was like, what was he going to do? And he's like, I didn't know. I wasn't even going to try and see.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh.
We have issues.
Yeah.
So-
all kids do it, though. All of them just get in there at some point and discover they can grab handfuls of things, which is disgusting. But
So
everybody
gross.
Everybody has a poop story. Anybody with a child has a poop story.
And I'm going through that season right now.
Yeah.
So be prepared, everybody.
It'll get better. It'll get better.
What about you?
This week I had a memory pop up on my Facebook of my oldest daughter. So she would have been like 8.
Cute.
8 or something. And the picture is her just standing kind of like in this doorway of our house. And I remember this moment very vividly because she just walked in and she had one of my travel coffee mugs in one hand, and she was like her body was just super relaxed. And then she had a pillow under her shirt, like she looked like she was pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
But it looked so natural, and it was like I had this weird glimpse into her future of a day that I'll see her like that pregnant mom kind of look. And it was funny because I looked at the caption for it, and she's like, "We're playing a game. Anything can happen."
Oh my gosh, that's so her.
It's like,
That's so her.
and she said it so just like, what? Anything can happen. We could be pregnant. Whatever. Some of us got knocked up. You know, it happens. It was so matter of fact. And when I read it, I just giggled because they really did play all sorts of random games when they were kids.
And I can see her saying that too.
Yeah.
Like
Just,
verbatim.
oh yeah, that's totally her personality. And just the look on her face in the picture is like,
Oh, that's classic.
what? People get pregnant. Like, not a big deal at all.
She's like, I've seen my mom do it 3 times after me.
Yeah.
No biggie. All right. So let's dive into today. It's going to be a good one, deep one for the mamas out there. So I thought we could talk about, because we've done a lot of party tips. We've done like some fun other ones. Let's go deep into our souls.
Ooh, Kendall wants to get deep
Let's
today.
do it. Let's just all things motherhood. I feel like we're in 2 totally different parts of our life when it comes to motherhood. So I learn a lot from you, but I'm also like so curious on like who you were at my stage in your motherhood journey and what changed us after becoming a mom. What have we learned? Do we have anything to say to other people? Anything motherhood. Let's go for it.
Yeah. So thinking back to where I was at in my life for a good portion of my kids being babies and toddlers, about half of that, Andrew was deployed for like 15, 18 months at a time. A lot of those years, I have a hard time actually remembering because
It's too much.
I was kind of in a survival mode where it was just like, get up, take care of the babies, make food, go grocery shopping. It was just kind of a daily grind of, just keeping everybody fed and keeping everybody dressed and keeping everybody alive, keeping everybody safe. And that sounds a little scary. Like, we're just surviving
No,
over
it's
here.
true though.
But I was a very relaxed mom. So
You seem that way to
like
me.
my kids, I love to watch them play. I love to let them play. We had rules and we had boundaries and structure and things like that, but we did stuff like when they were little and just first started eating. I remember just pouring cereal on Marin's tray. We weren't getting a bowl out with like
that's what
anything.
we do.
We were just, it was kind of like the trough method of feeding.
Just here you
kind
go,
of thing,
go
just
to
like,
town.
here it is, get to it, So it was a lot of that and I just remember a lot of car seats. There was a lot of strapping in of children because
Did you have a minivan then?
I had a minivan, but once we got to 4, like there was a point when we had 4 kids that everybody was still in some sort of car seat. So there was an infant seat, there was 2 like 5-port harness seats, and then you've got like a booster seat that's still getting strapped in. So getting into the car was
That sounds exhausting. I'd be sweating.
What you would like, it was quite the ordeal just getting everybody loaded into the car. And we were super involved with church, and we had stuff on Wednesdays, Sundays, like another day during the week that was at people's house. So our kids got a lot of drive time. They got a lot of time at other people's houses.
That's awesome.
So it was fun. And honestly, I think that sounds exhausting, like having to load them up multiple times a week to go do something and have them out interacting or whatever. But it actually, I think, was a lifesaver for me because my husband wasn't home. All those interactions was my only adult interactions
That's true.
during my week kind of thing, other than, like a phone conversation or a friend coming
like a
over.
face-to-face interaction.
And that was my time to connect with people and to get really, I was very focused in those moments. You're missing out on that when you're so consumed with just maintaining your kids' safety in a way. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
I'm sure you understand because toddlers are terrifying.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have no sense of danger or fear or anything. And so they'll just climb whatever, put whatever they want in their mouth or
Yeah, the mouth is my biggest fear. And that's one thing, I will let Maverick choose what he wants to climb and things like that could actually really hurt him. But I would rather let him try it than not let him try it and then him do it behind my back or something. And I think Ryan's the opposite. Tell him, no, do not climb that. I don't want to see you hurt yourself, but I'd rather him explore the option. But the mouth, I don't let anything go in that mouth. I am so, other than like a stick,
yeah.
that's fine. But I get so nervous he's going to pick something wrong up off of the floor and put it in his mouth and it's going to be bad.
Well, and you never really know what kids are going to do. For example, I know I've told you this story before, but I'll share it with our listeners. When my oldest son was probably
I know what you're going at right now.
3 years old, he was riding this little scooter and he was trucking along doing his loops. Well, in the midst of his looping, he grabbed a PVC pipe and was like pushing it in front of the scooter. And then he decided he was going to put the PVC pipe in his mouth. And then we noticed and we're like, hey, buddy, you got to get that out of your mouth. And he wasn't listening and he just kept scooting along. And the PVC pipe is just like bouncing along these little ridges. And then we get up to go over to take it away from him. And he hits this one and it stops and the scooter keeps going. And then he starts crying. It's like punctures into his mouth. Well, he had actually had a tongue tie where basically like the piece of skin underneath your tongue is like tighter than it should be. And we had an appointment scheduled for them to surgically fix it like in 2 days. And when that PVC pipe got caught on the sidewalk, it snipped that part of his tongue because apparently he had his tongue in the pipe.
Of course, wouldn't you?
Because why not? Put it in there, I guess. He snipped his own tongue tie.
You're like, excuse me, I need to cancel my appointment.
So we took him to the appointment still, and we were like, so this happened. And the doctor looked at it, and he was like, he did a great job. No need to do anything else. He went just as far as needed to, like, and it was perfect. Like it was done. And it literally had happened so fast and he cried for just a second and then he was okay. There was no issues, nothing with his teeth at all. So it is a little scary sometimes when they put things in their mouth because you never know what can happen. I was definitely I've always been a really goofy person and very, you could say a little theatrical.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
A little theatrical. So I would definitely take advantage when I had the opportunity to express myself in that way or to be creative, even though I had all the kids. So, for example, we had a Christmas fashion show or something that we did. And I put together this whole like techno Christmas music playlist for them to walk, for all the moms to walk to. It was like a mom's event or something.
How cute.
And all the moms like made outfits out of wrapping paper or something. I don't know. It was crazy and wild, but it was so creative and fun. And everybody went next level with it. And it was things like that, those were the things that I felt myself kind of thing, instead of just like diapers and babies and feeding and all those things and lack of sleep. And so I'd say that was probably the biggest thing, just taking the opportunity to connect with people and to do things creatively that really made me happy is what got me through that season without feeling depressed or feeling super lost or things like that. So for the new moms out there that are struggling, oh my gosh, why is this so difficult? Why is this so hard? I'd say, take a step back and look at what you're doing in your day and think about the things that you love to do and think about how can you find those things and put them into your day. Say you love the library, find a library that has a story hour and you can take your kid to the story hour and listen to that. And then maybe you can get some books to read at night when they're asleep or to read when they're napping or whatever, and help integrate those things that are a part of who you are into your everyday life so that you don't feel like you're just completely lost in baby land.
Yeah.
Because you can get so lost and just be like, what am I even doing?
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, man.
yeah.
And you were in your 20s, yeah?
Yeah, I was like 23 when I had my first.
Oh, okay.
So, and then we got them all out by the time I was 28.
Hey, that's great.
28. I think I was 28, 29.
Oh, my gosh. I
when
can't
I
even
had-
imagine.
when I had Blaze. So
Me at 23 with a baby. Let's all laugh now, listeners, because that's funny.
I always told Andrew, I was like, listen, when we started having babies, I said, oh, we're getting this done.
I know, right?
Right now. Like, I want my kids to know each other. I want the oldest one to know the youngest one. I want them to be friends. I want them to grow up together. I want them to experience life together. So we just,
And they do. I mean, we run into them randomly when we go out. We always run into them when they're having lunch together, and we
Yeah.
think it's the cutest thing. We're like, oh my gosh, look at them.
yeah, it's
They're so
sweet.
sweet.
My middle two, just last night, them and one of my daughter's friends, they all went out and they texted me. They were just supposed to go out and grab ice cream from the store.
Never just ice cream.
And then I get a text that's like, hey, can we go bowling? And I was
fun.
like, sure, for one game. And then after a few hours later, I get another text like, so we're done with bowling, but can we go to the beach and watch the sunset? Yes, that's fine. Just be home
So
in a little
sweet.
bit, like, don't stay gone for
You
forever.
said who was it? The two middle? Mm-hmm. So cute.
Yeah, and one of my
They're the
daughter's
blondies.
friends, the blondies, my blonde babies. So yeah, I love that they get to be together, and my oldest one will like take my youngest one out, or they'll do stuff together, or the boys will do stuff together, the girls will do stuff. They all kind of like mix and match, and it makes me happy because that's what I always wanted. I want them to know each other and love each other. Are they always nice to each other? No. And we have to constantly be like, listen, these are your built-in besties and you will have them forever if you just are nice to each other.
Yeah.
These people know you more than anybody will ever know you. They know your history. They know your weaknesses. They know your strengths. They know what you're capable of. Let them be your people. You can have other friends too, but hello, we built you a whole friend group.
You did.
Right here. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Mic drop. Bye.
That's right. So
Oh, that's awesome. I know. They're such good kids. Oh, you should be so proud.
I think they're pretty cool.
No, they really are cool. Oh, they're so cool.
Great. So how do you feel as far as this last almost 2 years now being a new mama?
I know. Can you believe? I mean, of course you can believe it, but let me have my moment. Can you believe it's almost 2 years?
I know,
Where
it
did
goes
the time
by
go?
fast.
I know. And I say it all the time. I'm like, when people are like, oh, the days are long, but the years are small and short. And I'm like, oh, they really are, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think my days are long. I think my days actually go by way too quick sometimes, but the years, man, are flying by. My mom actually reminded me that Mavericks. I know his birthday, obviously, but like, she was like, "Have you planned anything for a second party? He's coming up in like 4 months." And I was like, "Oh, 4 months. You're right. Ew." And those are gonna fly by.
Yeah.
So it's, a lot. I feel like has happened in these 2 years. I am learning a lot about who I am, and I think it's happening more than probably obviously what you're doing in your life right now, because you're already gone through this whole like finding who you are as a mom kind of thing. And I feel like you're also finding yourself now probably as a different person, because your kids don't really need you as much
Yeah,
anymore. So that's always
absolutely.
a really good topic too. The patience, I feel like I've learned over the years. I've always been a really patient person. I think some people may disagree, Ryan. However,
Ryan, don't comment.
yeah, no comments on this episode. But I really am a really patient person now. I feel like with Ryan and Maverick, but I'm really trying to focus on. I try not to be on my phone as much, even though it's in everybody's hand 24/7. I have given myself recently that I don't go on social media until noon. I can go on my phone. I can do other things, or I'm reading a book. I'm reading, everybody. I'm not listening.
I'm so proud of you.
I know.
That's amazing.
And it actually, is going. It went really well with what you were just saying about finding something that really does do something for you as a person and not just as a mom or whatever. I just read a chapter about resting and how you really need like soul rest, not just like, let me close my eyes for a nap or let me go to sleep for 7, 8 hours or maybe 4 or 5 or whatever we get that night. But go find something that you it used to fill your cup up with, whether it be like gardening or going for a walk outside by yourself or reading a book or online shopping, whatever it is that does it for you, do that
Yeah.
to make yourself really feel good. Because then in order, if you feel good, you'll make your kids also feel good as well. But like,
Well,
that's what the chapter was about.
and I also feel like when you take care of yourself and you do things that you love, you're a nicer mom.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're more patient and you're
Mhm.
more understanding because you're not just emotionally strained in that constant, all I do is take care of everybody and give everybody and I'm just overwhelmed constantly and I don't get to do anything I want to do. It's a game changer.
Yeah, huge. And I'm learning that with my patience comes with like, I'm trying to go and do my life slower. Because for a long time, I've always been the one to be like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go on the move, let's do something else, let's move to a new place, let's start a new job, let's go do anything. And travel was like huge in my 20s. And it was always just go nonstop.
Yeah.
And now I'm more of like, okay, let's sit here. I'm going to watch Maverick play in the dirt and be like so enthralled over the dirt underneath his fingernails, the sand on his hands that he can't get off. And I'm so interested in that now. Like, I would rather watch and do the smallest things in life than go and see a new country, which is crazy. I never thought I'd say that ever in my
Yeah.
life.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm probably emotional because I just love watching him do new things. And it's so cool.
It's really cool. And what's funny is that emotion doesn't go away.
Oh my gosh, I'm just going to be an
Like,
emotional wreck forever.
you are, and it'll get worse, and it'll hit you in weird moments.
Yeah.
Like me and Andrew both, we can be watching a movie about a dad inspiring his son to be the best athlete, and then he accomplishes his dream and he wins the championship. And me and Andrew, this is
Just
not our
sobbing.
son. We'll be crying on the couch together because as a parent, you want your kids to succeed so bad. You want them to hit goals. You want them to learn how to not put their hands in their pants. You know, you want them to hit all these milestones. And when they do, and you actually take the time to slow down and watch, like this weekend, my older son had a wrestling competition. It was his first one.
How'd it go?
He's been going. He won 3 out of his 5 matches, which I felt was
That's
great for the level of
huge.
training he has, which is very minimal.
Yeah, you just
But
started.
even just watching him win a match and then the referee holding his hand up at the end, I was like, and I'm wanting to cheer and I'm wanting to like express myself and my excitement, but I can't because I don't want to be this total
Over
wreck
the
of a
top
mom. Just like,
mom.
oh, my baby won. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're proud of them. You're proud that they put themselves out there and they tried something new and they accomplished something. And you can see that look of, oh, look, I did it. And, you know, the way that he would look at Andrew after a match.
Oh, Dad, look what
Like,
I just did.
look what I did,
That is
Dad.
so cool.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't go away.
Oh, wonderful. So let's just all be
so
emotional together.
Listen, just if you're a crier, just be prepared to cry all the time.
That's another thing. So after pregnancy, well, I guess during pregnancy, I mean, became so emotional over the craziest shit, and I'll never forget it. I used to cry, and I call them hobos, but I cry over homeless people. And I still get emotional to this day when I see one. I'm like, oh God, it's like heart-wrenching. And the things I get emotional about now are just like, when I was pregnant, I would say I love you to Ryan, and I had to stop it at some point because every time I said I love you, I cried.
No.
I know. And he's like, oh my God, like, you love me. And I'm like, I love you so much.
That's so
And literally, I'd be
sweet.
like, I have to stop saying I love you because I can't keep crying like this. It's ridiculous. Like,
Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't go away. I don't think. And I think in some areas it gets worse, like when they graduate high school or you know what I mean? Any milestone can just literally bring you to tears.
just a flood of emotions.
Yeah, because you put so much into your kids. That's your life. That's your world for a huge percentage of their childhood. When they're little, the magic and wonder of them discovering every new little thing is beautiful. And then
Yeah.
when they get older, seeing them turn into people, not that they didn't start out as people,
Yeah,
but
with themselves.
see them, see their little personalities from their childhood come back in their teen years and different things like that, and just little quirks and different things that you see. And it really makes you stop and be like, wow, how did we get here?
Yeah, I
So,
know, and it's so crazy because you've seen me and Ryan before kids, you've seen us during pregnancy, and you've seen us now.
yeah.
That's crazy thinking about like I was like, what did we do without Maverick? What were we doing with our lives? Well, I mean, guess we were working a lot. I was working a lot more.
Yeah.
I would work in the daytime and then work at the night and night. I would just do doubles, and that was cool. I loved it. I'd make great money, and then we'd pretty much drink all the time. Like we would
Yeah.
just drink every night, having dinner, going to bed, or like on the weekends. Yeah, I was like instead of Sunday fun day, it was like weekend fun weekend. I don't
Yeah.
even know. The change of before kids to now is so wild, but at the same time, I feel like it's super normal, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
Guess it just happens.
having kids kind of forces you into it. It's like that commitment that you understand that you're making, but you don't realize how serious it was until
There's a baby in front of you.
you're in it, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I can't put this back.
That's true. You
Like
cannot.
this is a full-time job that if I quit, somebody dies. It's serious, it's intense, and it forces you into, like you said, learning about yourself, understanding who you are, and that won't stop either.
No.
They will constantly teach you things, and you'll see things in them that you see in yourself, and you're like, ugh, I don't like
Yeah.
that. Like there's certain things that you're like, I wish they didn't learn that from me, or I wish they weren't paying attention when I did that. Because we're all human, and we all have our flaws. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you wish that you had, because you had kids younger than me, you had them actually almost 10 years younger.
Yeah.
I guess. No, I was 30, so 7.
Yeah.
Let's not go 10.
yeah,
But are you happy with the age that you started having kids at? Because I'm always curious. I really wanted kids young. Like I'm not crazy young, but I wanted them probably in my 20s before I was 30.
yeah.
But here we are now in my 30s still having kids. So,
I did always want to have my kids young. We got married in 2005, and we had our first child in August of 2006.
oh, so you guys were only married a year.
So we were only married for a year, and part of that year I was pregnant with Marie, so
yeah,
it was
that's true.
one of those things to where I wish we would have taken a couple of years to just be married and be together. But at the same time, I feel like we've been able to do that now that our kids are self-sustaining and they can stay at home and take care of themselves. We've got to do a lot of fun stuff that we didn't get to do when we were younger. And honestly, we can actually afford to do things.
Yeah,
We
because
can
now they
afford
have
to
jobs.
do things. We can afford to do things, just me and Andrew, now that we wouldn't have been able to afford to do when we were in our 20s, because he was in the military. I stayed at home and took care of the kids. Like even before then I had a job too, but we don't have college degrees. We're not making a ton of money at that point. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, it would have been nice to spend a couple of years, it being us, and that time together would have been really cool. But at the same time, it's really nice to be 42 and all of my kids can take care of themselves to a degree that I feel safe leaving them.
Oh, totally.
To
I
take
mean, you
care
have
of
an adult
themselves.
and then teenagers.
Yeah.
So,
That's been nice. Thinking about the way like my body responds to things, responds to life now. I kind of wonder, oh my gosh, if I was still having babies right now.
and people do at 42.
Yeah, they do. And bravo. I don't know if I would have had the same kind of pregnancies, because I love being pregnant. I could have been pregnant forever. I didn't get sick. I didn't feel uncomfortable. I loved having a big fat belly.
I did too.
It made me so happy. I just would like
I thought I was
rub it
sexy
and
as
hold
shit.
it. I felt beautiful.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that this is what I get to do with my life for these 5 straight years. I loved it. I could have been pregnant forever. But part of me wonders how much of that had to do with that I was young. I think it was probably good for me to do it young, because I don't know, I just had the energy to do it.
Yeah.
Now I think about like how tired I get.
Oh my gosh, yeah, huh?
How tired I get. And
I
I'm
get
like, oh,
tired.
I can't imagine having all the little kids now and then being like, I just want to nap.
You're like, leave me alone. Go take a nap.
I think for me, it worked out really good.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be a young mom, like when all your
100%.
kids are teenagers and people are like, oh, what? You have 4 kids?
I know. I
No
still didn't believe
way.
you.
Oh my gosh. And then I'm like, oh, I know. I'm so young. Like,
You are.
so that's maybe a ridiculous, selfish part of how I take it, but it's fun at the same time.
100%. I mean,
I'll take it.
I'll take being 42 with a grown ass adult
Yeah.
children. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'll have a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And probably some other little ones. So, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Send help.
Send help.
No, I will say this. I personally, so I started thinking about this the other day. I was like, okay, because I'm always like, oh, I've been hearing people having children now, like later on in life. I think that's more of a trend that I see than younger people. And then when I look about it, all of my friends here in Florida, they were all really young, like really young.
Yeah.
All in their early 20s. Sometimes I think there was a few, like they got married at 18, had a baby at 19.
Yeah.
I mean, super young. Then I'm like, well, maybe it's like a Southern or Florida thing because all my California friends, all of them started having kids in their 30s like me. So I'm like, well, maybe it's a state by state. Is it like a...
I definitely think there's a cultural aspect depending on where you grew up.
So interesting.
I grew up in southern Utah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
People are getting married
super young.
18, 17, 19, like...
Yeah.
And by the time they're 25, they could have 4 or 5 kids easy.
Yeah.
And they like to have kids in Utah. Like, they are all about the
Mm-hmm.
babies. So I grew up around a lot of people being younger. And even for me, getting married at 22, people are like, oh, you're finally getting married kind of
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
But that's...
It's
that's crazy to think for
Yeah.
other people that are like, oh my gosh, that's so young. Why would you get married so young? And I get it because you do go through so many different transitions throughout your life
Mm-hmm.
as an adult. So I don't know. It's kind of fun to think
It's
about.
crazy to think about, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm like, I started going down this rabbit hole of, oh, well, these friends had kids super young, and then these friends didn't. And then you hear celebrities are having children way into the later 40s, some early 50s. And I'm like, I just don't see myself, and this is me personally, in even my 40s having a newborn baby.
Yeah.
I'm already tired as is, and I'm, just hitting my 30s. So it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Not to say that kids aren't going to challenge the shit out of you.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Regardless of your age, they will 100% challenge every piece of you. But I think sometimes for parents that are having kids older, they just have a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. And I literally just forgot, Ryan is 40. So
Yeah.
he is the person in the 40s having young children. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I forgot.
Yeah, that's funny. Because he's so young. He acts
He
so
is.
young.
And I feel like it does bring like a new youthful glow to him.
Yeah, 100%. Because kids are so much fun.
They are so fun. Well, what have you been cooking this week?
What have I
Or what have you been eating?
What have I been eating?
Regardless if you cook it.
Last night, I made some really yummy, you're going to like this one,
Oh, bring it.
beans, Kendall.
Oh, hey.
I did a whole pot of pinto beans.
Oh,
Now,
did you do your tacos?
I
What
didn't
were
do
they?
the Navajo
Navajo?
tacos. I did not do those. I thought about them, and the beans might make a refresh tonight for dinner, and I might make some Navajo tacos because
So good.
that'd be good. But I was it was like a lazy Sunday after all of our driving for wrestling and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I threw them in the Instant Pot with a lot of ham. But also some delicious seasoning.
For sure.
And
That's so funny.
I don't really have a recipe that I go to for beans, but I always just like randomly look one up. And the one I found yesterday said to put jalapenos in them. And I was like,
Ooh.
well, why have I never done that before?
Yum.
I didn't have fresh jalapenos. I just had the pickled ones,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like are super spicy. So it's kind of perfect. But I put those in there and
I bet it was so good.
it was really good. And I just did it over rice. And I love
Yum.
it because this is the one thing about the way that I cook that sometimes Andrew's, what are you doing? Because he's from the Midwest. It's like meat and potatoes, like hearty meals, man food, you know?
Man food.
Man food. I was like, hey kids, dinner's ready. And he was like, is it just beans and rice?
Oh.
And I was like, yeah. He's like, no meat. I was like, listen, there's like as much meat in those beans as there's beans. It's like half meat, half beans. So yes, there's protein in there. And beans also have protein. What about you? What have you been eating?
We've been doing a lot of dips this week. A
Ooh.
lot of different kinds of dips. Yeah, I don't know what's come about that, but
Like what kind of dip are we
so
talking?
I always make a hummus, regardless of what. And I got these big, big, beautiful beets from Publix this past week, and I roasted them and then made some hummus, and it's so good. So we've been
Yum.
dipping in a lot of hummus. And then Ryan loves the spinach dip, and it is like the
Oh,
Knorr.
it's the one that he brought to my party. That's so
Yes. And I wanted to be a
delicious.
nice wife. And so when I was grocery shopping for my big, beautiful beets, I saw the little packets, the
Yeah,
Knorr or whatever.
the vegetable soup
Yeah.
mix.
And I was like, he would be so excited if I randomly made that for him.
Oh,
So I did it. I used to make this amazing spinach dip made from cashews. I know it probably sounds weird. And Ryan really likes it too. So when I got a whole thing of spinach for myself, and brought it home, he's like, "What are you making?" I was like, "I'm going to make your spinach dip for you. And then I'm also going to make my spinach dip." He goes, "Oh, so good." He was
yum.
stoked on his, but he was like, "You haven't made that dip in so long and it's so good."
Oh, let's share his yummy spinach dip and your spinach
Ooh, the
dip
side by
recipes.
side.
Because I'm so curious what is even in that and what goes into it. That's
Yeah,
so
it's
cool.
yummy. I'll say it real quick, but because it's really simple. It's cashews, and it's literally just a cup of cashews. And then once it's blended down with everything, it makes like a 8 by 8 cashews, a whole bag of spinach, which, yeah, let's get our greens in,
Yeah.
which is crazy because like that whole bag of spinach comes down to like nothing. An onion, like a small onion, some garlic. I do put miso paste. It just gives it like some deeper umami flavor.
Huh.
Nutritional yeast, of course,
Nice.
salt, pepper, some type of milk. I use a plant milk, so I use almond milk. And it's like an unsweet,
And
not
is it like
flavored.
you said you bake it?
Yeah, so I blend the cashews with all the seasonings and the milk. And then at the same time, I'm like cooking the spinach, the garlic, and the onion down. And then I'll put the spinach mixture in the blender with the cashew sauce to like, because I don't want like long pieces of
Yeah.
spinach. I'm weird. So I'll like blend it for a quick second just to chop it up
Yeah.
even more. And then I'll put it in the Pyrex and then I'll bake it for 20, 30 minutes. And it gets this kind of crusty on the top. It's delicious. And it gets like
Wow.
fluffy. I don't know how to describe it,
Yeah.
but once it's done, you like stir it up and it's just creamy and yummy.
Yeah, that actually sounds really good.
It is really tasty.
And you do it with crackers?
I do it with, well, this past week I've been doing a lot of carrots and pita, like
Okay.
pita bread.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
It'll be really yummy.
Well, I kind of love this topic this week, but I definitely want to encourage the new moms out there that it's going to be okay. It doesn't really matter how you feel right now or what's going on or what challenges you might be facing. You're going to figure it out and you're going to make mistakes and it's completely okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I would challenge you this week to maybe think about what makes you happy. What is your fun thing? What is something that you can do? And it doesn't have to be something you do all the time, maybe once a week, once a month. Like some things require a little more planning, and don't be afraid to ask people for help to help facilitate your own happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ask your husband to watch the kids. Ask your friend if your kids can come over for a play date for 2 hours while you go do something that you really love, and let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
See if it worked. And if it doesn't, give us a call. We'll
Try
give you
something new.
We'll give you some other ideas, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. Thanks, Jess, because that's literally like to me.
Yeah. Find something to do, Kendall.
I know. I know. And you know what I've been finding? What I'm going to find is we're getting chickens.
Yes.
Because whenever I go over to help our next door neighbor with her chickens, and it's literally just like opening the chickens and like collecting the eggs and like just talking to them because I like to talk to them, make sure they have water and food and all the things. But something comes over me and I'm like, this is where I need to be. I
Yeah.
never want to leave when I'm in her backyard with the chickens. It's always been in the back of our heads, but I finally was like, Ryan, this is what makes me feel really good. And I want to keep that feeling. Like, can I get 2 chickens? And so now he's been looking up all the crazy looking chickens. I'm like,
Oh
let's
my
just
gosh.
get ones that are good egg laying. He goes, no, I want that Puerto Rican one or whatever, with the crazy
With the
hair one.
crazy
So
hair.
he's been down the rabbit hole looking for crazy.
I love
looking
it. Do you know that they will ship chickens to your house
No,
in the mail?
shut up.
When we had chickens in Virginia, we ordered them online and they sent them to the post office, and we went to the post office and picked up our box of chickens.
How many did you order? I'm just so
like
curious.
25.
Oh my God.
And they were all just in one little, it was
How did you?
It was
I don't even
literally,
know.
this is
I don't even
hilarious.
know.
It was literally the size of like a rotisserie chicken box. It was
Oh, 'cause
not
they were
huge,
small
because they were
chickens.
little babies.
Yeah,
They
they're
were
like
little babies,
teenagers.
and then we put them in our basement, but we had them in this little gated area, and all their food and water and their little heat lamp. And I remember sitting there watching them, and there was a fly that dove down into where they were at. And I kid you not, this tiny little baby chicken went full on velociraptor and snatched that fly out of the air so fast.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my gosh, chickens are dinosaurs.
They are dinosaurs.
They are 100% like, it was the most badass primal thing I think I had ever seen.
And it was a baby.
And it was a tiny little baby chicken. Like, he was just like right out of the air. I'm like, this is what. And Andrew comes home from work, and I was like, babe,
You're never going to
you're not
guess.
going to believe what I saw today. And he was like, yeah, chickens eat bugs, babe. And I was like, no, he literally snatched it right out of the air. He was so fast.
So impressive.
Like a dinosaur. Like, I was so excited. Andrew was like,
You're
yep,
like, that one's my favorite.
yep, cool. But I love chickens. I'm so excited for you. Yeah. And check out our website, guys.
Yeah.
We forget to tell you
Go on.
that we
give us
have a
some love.
website, partiestoplaydates.com. We have links to our blog post that we do, a blog post each week for our episode, which I've been sneaking in some other recipes on the blog post.
Go check them out.
So if you want to go check those out, I've snuck in some extra recipes on there. And you can connect with us on the website and our socials and all that. Have a great week. Oh, and welcome to the studio with our new
Yeah.
video. And
Love it.
And if it's rough, we're working really hard, guys, to make this video thing work. We want...
Jess is doing a fantastic job.
We think you want to see our face. I don't know. We could just go audio all day. But we heard video is super cool, so we're trying to be super cool kids.
We are cool.
So until next week.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. And that, party people, wraps up another delightful episode of Parties to Playdates.
We hope you're leaving with a smile, a story, and maybe a tip or two.
Remember, life's journey is better shared with a friend.
And we're so grateful to be part of yours.
If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to rate and subscribe to our show.
Your support keeps our community growing and our stories flowing. We want to hear from you. Please send us your thoughts, ideas, and questions to partiestoplaydates@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Parties to Playdates.
Until next time, keep embracing the chaos and finding the joy.
Take care and stay connected, party people.
Bye for now, and don't forget to laugh a little extra today.
Bye.